Shinjuku is a vibrant district here in Tokyo known for its bustling atmosphere, shopping and nightlife. So we're going to take you to some of the best spots.
Right outside the east exit of the JR Shinjuku station is a super realistic 3D cat on this 4K screen, and back when it came out in 2021 it went viral. The news was reporting on it, and nowadays it's like a landmark. People will come here and take photos. I've been here for about 10 minutes and I've seen so many tourists grabbing their photos and videos, so definitely check it out when you're around. And it's fun because now there's different variants of the famous cat. Like, he's got a police hat on, he's endorsed by the local police force, and he's sometimes like, you know, meowing into the microphone. So there's always something new to watch. Oh, and they also do other creative things with other franchises like Spy Family and a few others, so you'll never know what you'll get to see. As you're crossing right in front of the cat, there's actually a new izakaya spot. And I haven't dined here before because there are so many restaurants in Shinjuku, but maybe later tonight we can come back. How does that sound? This looks great. One of the cool things about the vibe here is that you kind of seated on the street, so you really get to feel the vibe and feeling of Shinjuku to, you know, the maximum. One of the great things about Shinjuku is while you're walking around, there's so much to take in. Like, look at all the colors of the neon lights, and there are just so many restaurants and shops that you can walk into. I haven't visited them all. I've been here probably 100 times, and tourists come here maybe once or twice, so you really got to like pick and choose what's good. So we're going to show you today some of the best places. One of the most iconic places in Shinjuku is definitely this Kabuki Central Road, where there's a huge crossing, and right in front of us is the Godzilla, and I want to take you down as close as we can. Oh, and don't miss out on the donkey. We'll be heading in there later. If you're in Japan and kind of want to check out the latest movies, don't go to any other cinema than this one here, because you can say, I watched a movie where Godzilla is. How epic is that? I really like it. It's a nice movie theater. So watch the latest Ghibli, anime, whatever you like in there. But today, I'm not watching a movie, unfortunately.
Back in 2015, this Godzilla head suddenly appeared in Kabukicho when the building first opened, and these days you can get up close and personal with it by entering the Hotel Gracery, where you can sit at the cafe and take a photo. At the moment you can't go outside, but hopefully it will reopen in future. There's no better way to enjoy a movie than at the Toho Cinema with the iconic Godzilla. Come inside and you'll get a great view of Shinjuku at nighttime, or pop into the souvenir store where they'll feature a lot of goods from movies that are currently running, as well as some awesome merch.
Right behind me is the Tokyo Kabukicho Tower, which only opened, I believe, last year, so it's very new to the Shinjuku scene, but it is one of the biggest complexes in all of Japan, and I believe it comprises of different levels. The first floor is like, you know, we've got a Starbucks, and then we've got restaurants. The next floor is some game arcades, and they even have a club on the bottom floor, and then there's hotels as well as fancy restaurants. So we're gonna take you along and see what's happening. It's a little early in the evening for the real action, but let's head inside. This is actually a 48-story skyscraper, and it is Japan's 19th tallest building. So that just gives you a perspective on just how big this thing is. If you happen to be leaving Japan or arriving, you can get a bus directly to Haneda and Narita Airport from this little bus terminal here right underneath Kabukicho Tower, which is super conveniently located. So yeah, I would use this if I was staying in the area. Make sure you keep your eyes peeled, because I've just spotted another little Godzilla. He's everywhere, tearing down the city of Tokyo. The moment you come up the escalators, you're greeted by all these lights as well as restaurants, because this is Kabuki Yokusho Food Hall. And there's about 10 different restaurants, and they have different types of seating. And I believe that each restaurant has like a different food theme, and you can taste all the culinary delights of Japan throughout the whole country, not just Tokyo. I just love the atmosphere in here. Like, look at this. I've even spotted like a cat. There's all these lanterns. It's a really cool place. I think it is a little bit of a gimmicky place for the locals, but I do think as a tourist, it's definitely worth checking out, because this has just got everything in one little area. I'm impressed by how big this place is, and don't be fooled. It's only about 5 p.m., so it's not peak hour. There's gonna be a lot of people filling up in here. Also, all these smells are just making me really hungry. These are so frustrating, but so addictive. This is the arcade inside the tower, and it is quite pricey here, about 400 yen for one go, unless you come to these smaller ones, because I Also, there's an event happening. Yay! But I'm just here spending my money, so come up here if you want to play some typical Japanese arcade games. Or you can buy cards. I believe there's lots of different cards. Or gacha gacha, which are the capsule machines. What is happening? Should we go check it out? Unfortunately, I do have to warn you about one thing in the Kabukicho area of Shinjuku, which is where I'm walking right now. There are a lot of scams prevalent, so do not by any means follow anyone into a bar or kind of room or anywhere if they try and bring you in from the streets. Please don't. There are a lot of people who get drugged and their money is stolen. So be careful out there. Always go out with a friend in Kabukicho. That is the way to stay safe. But other than that, you can enjoy Japan. You might be surprised to find out that there is actually a really beautiful shrine in the middle of Shinjuku. It's called Hanazono Shrine, and it's one of my personal favorites because although moments ago I was walking through Kabukicho as well as Golden Gai, which is adjacent to this shrine, the moment you walk in here, it's silence. Mostly anyway, except for a siren in the distance. And today there seems to be a festival going on, but usually you can come here any time of day and you can find a little bit of peace, even though we're in the heart of this bustling city. And apparently this is the most important Shinto shrine in Shinjuku. And if you do want to experience another side to this shrine, my tip is to come on a Sunday because they hold an antique fair where they'll sell lots of different Japanese traditional crafts and items. And if you come in the summer, early summer, there'll be a festival. So lots to check out at this lovely traditional old shrine. Do not underestimate the heat and humidity that Japan faces every summer. It is getting worse, and that is why I have committed to carrying this water tank around because I need to stay hydrated. It is luckily later in the day, but I have been sweating so much. It is very, very hot. So if you're visiting anytime in the summer from June to almost September or October, make sure you're wearing the right clothing and stay hydrated because it is hot and dangerous. Lots of people get overheat and get heat exhaustion. So yeah, stay safe out there. Kanpai! I managed to get a seat at the restaurant we walked by earlier, and I am loving the atmosphere here. Hello, everyone is walking past. It is busy because the crossing's there, Kabukicho's down there, but I've ordered myself a few snacks like edamame. It's hard to grab. Ta-da! You might be wondering why there's a basket. Well, it's because when you eat edamame, you gotta remove the shell. My dad ate the whole thing, so don't do that. When you come to a restaurant like this, you'll often have an otoshi, which is a cover charge, and they'll give you a small dish when you come here. So just make sure you're aware of that. But this place has an English-speaking menu, so you're all good. And I thought I wanted to introduce today something is very typical Japanese, which is called tamago kake gohan, also known as TKG. And it is a raw egg as well as white rice. This is a very typical Japanese dish, often eaten at breakfast time, but it's often at izakayas as well. I love this. Also in Japan, you might be surprised to see me eating raw egg, but it is considered safe, but eat it at your own risk. Comment down below if you would eat a raw egg in Japan, or if you already have. Even if you're a little scared, I believe that is worth the try because I myself was also in that boat where I was like, really, raw eggs? But now I'm a big fan and I eat it almost every week, several times. Sumimasen. Ohiya o 2つください. If you want to order in Japan free water, so table water, it can be said in either two ways. O mizu kudasai, mizu, which is water, or ohiya, which is another word for like table water. Stay hydrated. My extra food is here. Now we have some yakitori, which is often a specialty and like popular dish at izakayas. And we have two different types. We have tsukune, which is minced chicken, I believe, with a raw egg, and then we have some mune, which is like breast, and it comes with like some sauces. But I'm gonna try this because, you know, I just introduced raw egg to you, and I'm gonna go again. We're coating this stick. I like this stick. This is actually really nice. Easy to hold. 10 out of 10 stick. That's yummy. Tsukune is one of my favorites when I do eat yakitori. The number of times people walk past here and stare, but don't come in, outrageous. We gotta change it. I have done the same. And today, my life has changed. Because how many times can you say in your life, I dined on the streets of Shinjuku? How many times? I swear I've only had 3 sips of this. It's the heat. The heat's getting to me. I need to consume my water because my tank wasn't enough. Shinjuku has now come to life because it is dusk, and I'm gonna make a stop at Donki because I need to grab some important items. And if you don't know, Donki, also known as Don Quijote, is a lifestyle and everything store. You can find anything you're looking for, and it's a little overwhelming. Very narrow, very packed, very colorful. Let's go. One of the reasons why I recommend the Shinjuku one is because you can get all your souvenirs here. And we have Japanese sunscreen, face packs, all these kind of like chemist things that you pick up at the chemist, all just laid out for you. But let's go inside because there's also aircon. We got all our classic yukata, Japanese t-shirts. Who doesn't want to wear a lovely Hokusai t-shirt with Tokyo in gold font? One of my favorite things here are all these like anime character socks, and they're so cheap. They're like 500 yen and they're a great little souvenir. Very light, small to put in your suitcase. Or here is the traditional Japanese corner. Why don't you find your name on one of these little cards? Dave. This is what Dave is in kanji, so congrats, Dave. Depending on the time of year you'll visit, you'll see a lot of seasonal goods, and in Japan, these fans are very popular. I guess there's no battery. Oh, there's battery. Hello. But if I were to buy one, I would get this Kirby fan. Like, look how cute this is. This Donki actually has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different floors. It goes from food and groceries, party goods, color contacts, cosmetics, medicine, luxury brands, clothing, and more. Should we go into the madness more, diving deep? Also, a requirement of coming in the store is you need to sing the song. Dun dun dun, Donkey, Don Quixote. Yeah, I'm not great with my rhythm, but it's the main character of this store is a penguin. He's everywhere. He's the fellow local penguin. Fun fact, they have a fun fact. They wanted to remove it from the logo, and there was so much backlash on Japanese Twitter that he remained a powerful figure in the Japanese character universe.
Keep your eyes peeled while you're walking through Donki. You never know which character you might spot. They have Pokemon, Ghibli, and just so much more. You'll come out of here buying something at least.
Just want to quickly mention that Donki is located everywhere and not just here in the heart of Shinjuku. There's one at the south exit as well as in Shinokubo, which is a short walk away. It's the Koreatown, also check that out. But yeah, this place is really busy, so I picked the worst place maybe. One of Shinjuku's most popular drinking districts is Golden Gai, and it comprises of 6 different really small alleyways, and there are over 200 bars cramped into this area. It's really fun to just walk down here. There's like lots of little, restaurants, bars, and I've heard that a lot of celebrities like to frequent this area. And I think there's actually also a lot of places that you can't enter as a foreigner, or you need to be like a long returning customer. But I'm gonna just try and get lost down these streets. I will mention, if this were any other country, I may feel a little unsafe, but being Japan, I definitely feel like this doesn't give me any bad feeling. And I've never actually been inside any of the bars before. Probably one of my first few times walking down here. I can see that there's different themes of bars, as well as like a lot of places doing karaoke. The people in Japan know how to have a good night, know how to belt out, to their heart's content, to their favorite J-pop or, classic Japanese song. And the great thing about the bars here is they're very intimate. And I think that's a concept we don't really have in the West, where you'll have only about 5 to 6, maybe even smaller, where you just sit like a bar seat and a table and you'll get to chat to the actual bar owner. So this is a really authentic Japanese experience that you can't really get in many other places, even in the country. This is very unique, I feel. And a lot of history. No trip to Shinjuku is complete without visiting the west side of the area, because we have the very iconic Yodobashi camera sign. And look at the neon lights. It is what you imagine when you think of Shinjuku and Tokyo and technology, because this area is full of camera stores. We have the 2 most famous ones in the country. We have Yodobashi Camera as well as Big Camera. And you can get the latest technology all from Japan or across the world, like Sony cameras, you know, DJI, all of that stuff. And a lot of these places do tax-free shopping. So if you're a souvenir, so if you're a tourist, make sure to get that. But other than that, just wandering the streets, it's such a fun experience, especially at nighttime. It's unmatched. I really, really highly recommend you just get lost in the streets of Shinjuku. In this area, not only are there brand new stores selling, you know, brand new items, but there's a lot of secondhand technology stores, in particular camera ones. So there's a lot of secondhand places like Kitamura Camera as well as Map. And the thing about Japan is the Japanese people treat their items with respect. They're usually in fairly good condition and quality. So you can pick up quite a few bargains at, like, you know, reasonable rates where, you know, the gear isn't bashed up. So I bought a few tripods and items myself, but you never know what you'll find because there's only ever one of each at a different price. And one thing I will mention is the Yodobashi camera here is incredibly confusing because it's broken up into little shops. But if you can work your way around, you'll find what you need. Otherwise, you might end up with another suitcase because I can see them selling it right there. No matter where you find yourself in Shinjuku, you'll always find technology, colorful stores, restaurants, bars, as well as the incredible nightlife that it's known for. But one last thing I'd like to show you is right around the corner here, we have gacha, which of course are everywhere in the country, but there's a huge line of them there. So this is definitely something if you want to collect some things and bring them home, you can do that here. And there's also like a Pokemon seat area over there. There's so many things. You just have to come here and wander and explore Tokyo for yourselves. But that was it for today. Let us know where we should cover next time. And I'll see you, hopefully not dying because I'm drinking water and Pocari Sweat. The gacha! Make sure you're looking around when you're in Tokyo. Look, Shinjuku's, what? Back that way. It's crowded behind you, don't hit this lady. Okay, let's go. Never mind. The heat, it's got to me.